Tonight, play ball. Kids start swinging the bat even younger. Plus, drinking driving debate. Stiffer legislation could come very soon. And deep freeze. The province deals with wicked wind chill.
In sports, career year. Lloydminster Bobcats left winger Topher Flanagan has stepped up in a big way so far this season.
This is Newcap News.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. Jack, we have a one-on-one profile tonight with one of our own Bobcats.
Yeah, Topher Flanagan having a great year, and we asked him why he's having such a great year, I suppose, and we have a full story on him coming up in sports.
And Gerard, it's freezing outside.
Yes.
It is so cold. Tell me it's going to get better.
Yes, there's a probability it will get better, a little better by Tuesday, but we know it's this time of the year, and well, the wind has not been our friend. The wind chill add to that, and light flurries coming on down. Mixed kind of day it's been, really, but let's see what we've got here. Let's have a look at it. Because there you go, minus 20, that wind chill at minus 26, and expect to drop a bit more later on. The winds generally today been out of the west and northwest, anywhere from 13 to 18 kilometers an hour. So you can see it's actually eased off in this hour. And as we compare across the region, that's what you're dealing with. We got to a high of minus 17 just around noon. In Cold Lake and area, the high there was minus 18, mainly sunny day. And the Battlefords, the high there was actually minus 15. So they can show off on all of us too. Cloud cover around the evening. It will ebb and flow, but there isn't anything ominous in those clouds. And we'll talk about when it's going to get fractionally warmer in the second segment.
Battleford's RCMP have laid 61 charges against 3 area youth. Police located multiple stolen items, including 9 vehicles, a snowmobile, and a cargo trailer roughly 30 kilometers south of the Battlefords in various remote locations. One youth is facing 31 charges, while the other 2 face 15 each. Some include possession of stolen property, causing damage to property by fire, unlawful possession of a firearm, and assault with a weapon. Police say the investigation is ongoing. North Battleford RCMP also made a significant drug bust Friday. Police seized a large amount of marijuana, cash, and a vehicle from a residence on Winder Crescent, laying charges against 3 individuals. Donovan Lavliolette and Brenna Fletcher are facing trafficking and possession charges, while Sean Fortin is charged with possession of a controlled substance. All will appear in court on December 8th. Well, play is a part of life for all kids, but sometimes children with special needs have a hard time fitting in. The Alberta Association for Community Living is trying to ensure all kids have equal opportunities. The AACL put on a workshop highlighting inclusive recreation and what Lloydminster can do to help.
Monique Smiley is a proud mother. Her daughter Chantel is just like any other 12-year-old.
She just loves going to ballet, having sleepovers, play dates.
Except Chantel was born with Down syndrome. Monique says it hasn't been easy.
Struggles in me learning on what her needs are and how to enable her to be the best she can be.
Monique is here to continue learning. The focus at this conference, inclusive recreation.
Basically to help families that have children and adults with developmental disabilities and recreation leisure service providers to think about the way in which leisure is a route into belonging in the community.
Judith McGill traveled from Ontario to host the 2-day session. The Alberta Association for Community Living invited her to come. She says the goal of the conference is that, disability or not, everyone flourishes through recreation.
I hope that they start to broaden their imagination of leisure and start to individually, one by one, slowly and surely help people take up their leisure in a way that's purposeful and that says something about who they are and not just their label.
And as for Monique, she says the reason she's here is simple.
My goal in life is to enable her to be the best she can be.
With snow on the ground, it's clear the softball season is long over. However, area kids are using the off-season as a chance to learn and hone in on new skills in the sport. Emmett Murphy reports.
Eager softball players have the opportunity to improve their ball game thanks to the Rebels Learn to Play program. The clinic is divided into two groups, Fun Play for little tykes being introduced to the sport, and Rebels Triple Play for the older, more advanced students.
You know, they're able to run the bases, they know which way they're going already. And now it's about fine-tuning and showing them the proper technique, you know, such as a three-finger grip and how to throw the ball properly with a raised elbow, etc.
She doesn't just focus on one thing, she makes you try different. One's pitching, one's infield, and one's outfield.
The goal of the camp is to expand the sport in Lloydminster and nurture the already available talent.
It's been improving a lot because I wasn't that good at pitching last year, and this year I think I'm getting a lot better.
The camp also provides a welcome opportunity for more accomplished ball players to give back to their sport. Helping Blanchard coach are members of her competitive Rebels softball team.
It's interesting because we break it down to the basic learning and you don't realize how important the basics are. So they can actually catch now. Most of them couldn't even throw it before. And we taught them what a grounder was, so that's good. And we actually just introduced the hitting today.
In order for them to come out and learn how to be good players, it's really good for them to learn how to coach too and get their point across. Because when you are able to teach, you learn as well.
The Learn to Play program continues throughout the winter. There's another camp that will begin in February, set up to finish in time for the beginning of the softball season. Emmett Murphy, Newcap News.
Well, Jack joins us on the desk for a first look at sports and a couple games in the AJHL last night.
Yeah, a couple games. The Pontiacs and the Bobcats were both in action. We'll start with the Pontiacs. Well, they had a pretty tough test last night as they were in Spruce Grove taking on the Saints. The Saints sit at the very top of the North standings and have only lost twice in regulation so far this season. And they lived up to their reputation last night. They blanked the Ponce a final of 3-0, and that's the Saints' third win in a row. And the Lloydminster Bobcats were also in action last night. They played host to the Okotoks Oilers at the Civic Center. Big win for the Bobcats and goaltender Tyler Briggs as he picks up the shutout in a 2-0 win for the Bobcats. And there's a huge milestone for Corey Chisholm in this one. He now holds the franchise record for most games as a Bobcat. He suited up for the Cats a grand total of 246 times. Congratulations, Corey. It was just over a year ago when the Lloydminster Bobcats picked up left winger Topher Flanagan in a trade with the St. Albert Steel. Flanagan turned out to be a pretty solid fit with the new squad, racking up 22 points in 34 contests. This season, well, he's taken his game to a whole new level.
Topher Flanagan is having his best season in his AJHL career. He's picked up 29 points, which is only 3 less than he had all of last year. Flanagan credits his success to his line mates.
I think just chemistry with my line mates has been good this year. There's nothing in specific from last year that I'm doing differently, but I'm playing with some great players. I mean, I got Mars on my wing and Kopech in the middle, and those guys have been great, and just together we've been able to put the puck in the net.
Bobcats head coach Brian Curran feels that Flanagan has added some elements to his game that have made him a more complete player.
What he's doing very well is going to the net. He's got 4 or 5 goals this year going to the net. He never had that in probably 2 years. So he's learning to go to the dirty areas, and that's the difference in his game.
Flanagan's career year came at the right time, as this is his last season being eligible to play in the AJHL. His next step will be looking to secure a scholarship.
The reality of what Topher's doing better this year than last year is, number one, he's come with a better mental attitude this year. He wants to succeed. He wants to make sure that he gives it the best opportunity to get a scholarship. A very intelligent young man. But what he's doing very well is going to the net. He's got 4 or 5 goals this year going to the net. He never had that in probably 2 years. So he's learning to go to the dirty areas, and that's the difference in his game.
But for right now, Flanagan is taking it one game at a time. The only points he's worried about are the ones in the standings.
We're never satisfied. We're not satisfied with where we are. It's nice to be above 500, but we expect a win every night, and we know we can beat every team. So it's nice to be above, but we're not going to sit back on it and be content. We're going to try to get to the top.
And we have some minor hockey scores to tell you about now, starting with the Baker Hughes Bobcats. Yesterday, they were down south, going head-to-head against the Lethbridge Pronghorns. Not the result they hoped for, though, as they were handed a 7-3 loss. To the girls now, the PWM Steelers were in Calgary taking on a pretty tough Bruins squad. These teams ended up matching up pretty well as they tied at 1 goal apiece. And for the Ice Cats, they were also down in Cowtown yesterday. They had a date with the Calgary Outlaws. Ice Cats, they couldn't get anything going though, as they were blanked by a final score of 4-0. They now sit at 500 on the year. All right, turning our attention to college basketball now. The Lakeland Rustlers teams were back at it last night, capping off their home-and-home series with the King's University College Eagles. We start with the women who dished out some payback last night on the Eagles. They beat them 84-69. Pretty good record so far, 6-2 on the year. As for the men, well, they stayed perfect this season. They crushed the Eagles again, this time by a score of 113-71. Lloydminster is home to one of the best girls competitive softball teams in the country. The U16 Rebels have been invited to Las Vegas, Nevada this week, and Carrie McCullough shows us how hard they've been working to make a name for themselves.
These young ladies of the Lloydminster Rebels have been working very hard this past year to prepare for some great opportunities coming their way in softball. After participating in a showcase at the Canada Games this past summer, they will be taking a trip further south to Las Vegas, Nevada to show their stuff in an annual tournament.
I'm really excited because it's such a big deal to be able to go play in the States where there'll be like lots of scouts and stuff, and we'll be seen by lots of teams to show what we can do.
Knowing that there will be scouts there, the Rebels coaches are not only training them hard to play well, but also how to make an impression on a scout off the field.
Try and hit lots. Obviously the pitchers have to throw a lot in the off season, but just very basic fundamental skills that make all the difference during the game.
Well, a lot of these kids are starting to get to the scholarship age, and they want to learn how to, approach scouts. So we'll be making CDs and videos of ourselves, letters to the scouts. So it's all the training process of how do I approach a scout, who do I need to talk to.
Although many girls are hoping to have a scholarship come their way in a year or two, either way in this tournament, everyone will get an opportunity to get on the field and show them what they've got.
You know what, we are definitely going there to make sure that everybody has an opportunity to be in front of a scout. So we, yes, of course, would like to be able to put our best foot forward and win some games, but we are really going to go there and make sure that everyone has a great experience and an opportunity to play.
And what better way to take off the pressure of a tournament than to be staying in a city like Las Vegas? These girls, who are the only Canadian team to attend, will surely have a fun time and an experience they will never forget. Carrie McCullough, Newcap Sports.